All right, 10-2 is all on the unit circle. Now, this is a huge unit. We're going to spend like 3 or 4 days on it. So please just note, you don't want to just kind of brush over this and think if you don't understand it that it's okay, it'll go away. It doesn't. It's going to come into play next unit and again, maybe, and again. So please know just to learn this. And it's not too bad. I'm going to show you some really easy tricks to help you to understand this a little bit better. But basically, the unit circle, a unit just means one. So when we're talking about something with a unit, it's 1 unit. So right here, our circle has a radius of 1. So this radius right here, this is why we called it R, that's going to be 1. Okay, so this side of our triangle right here, this is still your X value. Pen is doing funny things. And this side right here is still the Y value. Okay, so with our 3 sides of the triangle here, when we label it, here's our lovely theta right there. So across from theta, this is our opposite side. Across from our right angle here is our hypotenuse. And that leaves this to be the adjacent. So our sine, remember let's write it over here, our SOHCAHTOA. So our sine is our opposite over our hypotenuse. So our opposite, which is y, over our hypotenuse, 1. So we don't need to write really the 1. We're just going to write it is y. Okay, the sine of theta is just y. Cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Again, my hypotenuse is 1. So anything divided by 1 is just the adjacent, or x. You're going to want to memorize these. These are going to come into play all the time. I am going to let you write them on your unit circle as well. We're going to make our own unit circle. And then the tangent here, our TOA, is our opposite over our adjacent. So our opposite over adjacent, or y over x. And I'm going to have you write the 3 reciprocal functions here. So remember, the sine is the cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine. So the cosecant of theta is, remember, it's just the opposite. This was y over 1, so it's 1 over y. The secant is the reciprocal of your cosine, so it is 1 over x. And the tangent, the reciprocal is the cotangent, so when we flip that, it's going to go x over y. So these will come into play too. So write those down, know those. But the main 2 that you're going to love when you're asked for it, they are these x and y, the sine and the cosine. Notice when we talk about our ordered pair, our coordinates p was an x and a y. So it says x is equal to the cosine of theta. You could just write cosine theta right there instead of x, replacing our x and replacing our y. You could write that sine of theta. So the coordinates of p, if you have points around a unit circle, which we're going to be doing next, you've really got the cosine and the sine values. And by a little division, you can find all of those values, actually the x and the y. All right, so just really quickly, we're actually going to skip this section, so we did not do this in class. I am going to just write on this to use the unit circle instead. Use unit circle instead. So what we did is I gave everybody a blank unit circle. I've done this a couple times. I filled it out more than once, but we filled it out together, and you're able to use that on your assignments, on your unit test. Now, we will have a test on the unit circle that you cannot use it for, but you'll be able to use it for your end of your unit test. So please fill us in with us. It's going to be on our next video. And I'll put a blank unit circle on Canvas as well. So if you need to print one out to do that, you could do that, or just ask me for one. But that's our next video.